Hey, what's good, everybody? Thank you for tuning in this afternoon with Mr.Stacks on a weekend session here. I know this is something we don't normally do. I just wanted to catch y'all up on some of these stocks I've been kind of peeping out throughout the weekend, trying to look for some new opportunities here, getting on some of these stocks before they actually break out. I know y'all know what we do on this channel here. We do look for those pre-breakout stocks. We're trying to get on some of these shares, some of these positions before these stocks actually hit all-time highs, break out of their lows, certain levels, things like that. And if that's something you like to hear about, things you'd like to know about, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, be in the know every time I release one of these videos. We are trying to put some money in your pocket. As those of y'all that do follow the channel, you'll know how we do about these times. When these videos do drop, we're looking to hit on some new hot stocks, and we're trying to take that money train all the way up here. So for those of y'all that are new to the channel, y'all want to show some love, support the channel by subscribing. Thumbs up are always appreciated as we move into next week on some of these new winners here. But let me go ahead and fill y'all in on what it is I'm looking at. I do have 4 stocks up here on the charts. We do have the first one of the day. We have BBIG, which is Vinco Ventures. This is one I wanted to discuss on Friday. I just had some other ones I kind of had some attention drawn on, so I wanted to discuss on those. We already knew this one was moving, so this is one we covered, earlier in the week before it took off. So that's kind of why I didn't really touch base on this one on Friday, but we're going to catch all up on this one today. Stock number 2, we have Aqst. Aqst Therapeutics, I believe that's how you say it. We did have some viewers mention this one in the comments in the Discord, and I just kind of wanted to, fill y'all in on what's been going on with this stock. This is one that I kind of got drawn into as well. Looking at the history of this stock, it looks to be making some good moves here and possibly breaking out soon, maybe hitting some all-time highs. So we're going to kind of fill y'all in on this one, see what direction we're moving here in the short term and the long term here. Stock number 3, this is one that it's a little tricky sometimes, but it's one that's kind of grabbing my attention at the moment. I have traded this one before. Been pretty profitable on this one. This one just moves a little tricky, so something to just kind of keep an eye on. But stock number 3 I wanted to discuss was Workhorse Group, which is WKHS. I'm going to fill you in on why I'm looking at this one and let you know exactly what I'm looking for when it comes to the charts here. Stock number 4. This is also one that I know has been out there before, and as far as talk and gossip in these forums, a lot of people like to trade it. Once that attention is drawn into this stock, this one can actually take off also. As we start hitting key levels on here, I really feel like there might be some attention starting to come into the stock, volume starting to build, and I just wanted to get y'all in the know here before we start breaking through these levels. But Sensonics Holdings, which is Sense, S-E-N-S, this is stock number 4, and we're gonna catch up on this one also. But these are the 4 top picks I'm looking at moving into next week, as well as some of the other ones we covered on Friday. You know how the list is, man. That one, it goes and goes. So many stocks, so many to choose from. But as far as some of those ones, I feel like they're going to make some big moves soon. This is why I wanted to cover these stocks today before we actually move into Monday and kind of to see how they're playing out in the pre-market and into the opening bell there. But off the top, man, BBIG, Vinco Ventures, this one on Friday had a massive move. A few dollar jump. This one's been kind of floating around the $3 range here for a little while. And Friday, man, we just started to see it start pumping. Everybody started drawing into the stock. Like our volume was at 2,637% above our daily average. Normally we trade about 9 million shares, daily. Yesterday, or Friday, I'm sorry, we had 238 million shares trading in and out of this stock, which crazy amount of volume. This one's been up there before. We've had this one making a lot of movements, as you can see, history back in like January, hitting that all-time high about 940. And as you can see, looking at the daily chart here, as you can see the trend line that I'm drawing, hitting highs to highs to highs. That you can see we actually squeezed out here, Friday. Look at that. Gonna zoom in a little bit more, as you can see that trend. See, this is the short-term trend right here. Started to break out that long-term trend. You see we're pumping, hitting that $4 mark. Now I know we had some people yesterday, Friday, in the Discord that were already invested in this stock, and We called around $4. We started to see some resistance. I know some of us pulled out thinking we were going to have a pullback, and then all of a sudden, that squeeze just started coming in. Everybody just started buying and buying. There were sellers that were positioned, and we just started to squeeze out of those positions there, and we pumped up all the way in the after hours, as you can see, to like 767s when we finally closed at 7 o'clock on Friday. We closed the end of the day 3 p.m. at 5:30, but we pumped up, as you can see, a few dollars in the after hours there. I have some levels that I do have drawn that we're looking to maybe find an opportunity to get in as well as get out. For those of y'all that have been profitable, we're going to try to call those positions if we're looking to see a pullback anytime soon. There's a lot of talk, a lot of interest in this stock right now. I believe they're going to have some news released moving into September as far as some of their mergers they're doing. I believe the motive was a merger or some type of an agreement. They had a deal. It's a certain platform that's starting to compete, or they're looking to compete with TikTok, similar app as far as what they're doing. But some of these companies are investing into what they got going on, and it's causing these prices to start moving here. As everybody's interested in what's to come here, we're starting to just pump up with the news, and we might even sell the day when they actually publish that news though. So right now it's just kind of pre-anticipation on where the stock is going. We may continue moving higher. We may see a pullback. It's really hard to tell right now, as we don't really have any levels to follow other than just from what happened on Friday and looking back on the lower levels for some of that support. But I wanted to kind of just show y'all what I'm looking at here. As you can see, we have a high of about, I'm calling it around like 769, give or take here. As you can see, coming all the way back. We're having that support area around right here. Back in January, where we started to see a candle form, pulled up to that all-time high of 940, and then that resistance level coming back from the previous 4-hour candle. We're following that trend, but this is a high support level here, especially knowing that we're already testing that level. Will we be able to break it? This is something we need to look for moving into Monday. I know a lot of people aren't able to trade in the pre-market until 8 o'clock or so, especially if you're using Robinhood. But if y'all are up early, I know Webull, Thinkorswim, a lot of these platforms, you're able to trade 3 a.m. as soon as the market opens, see what you can do. It's kind of hard to play with it in the early market because there's not a lot of volume coming in. So if you are even looking to get in a position, you got to make sure that we got a seller or a buyer on the other side, depending on how you're playing the stock here, because you might not get your position filled right away depending on who's trading the stock. But if we have a lot of volume coming in the morning, then it might not be as hard, but just something to keep in mind if you are looking to get in. And just be mindful on how these stocks play out in the pre-market. They can be real volatile. Same with a lot of short interest in here at 50%. We could see a sell-off come Monday, knowing that it had a big pump on Friday. So me myself, I'm not looking to get in right away. I know everybody has that fear of missing out, thinking we're gonna moon on the stock, which it's possible. We've seen SPRT as to what happened on Friday. This is another one we called that we've been following, and that one took off, and we're looking to catch some of these same stocks, riding them all the way up there. But we got to be cautious here. We got to make sure that we're not gonna lose money putting into these tricky areas, especially when they're hitting their all-time highs here. I'm looking for a pullback to come down to at least $5 or so before I want to get in. We can call 677 here, another point. As you can see, we have a level here. Let's just draw that. But I'm going to call all these levels here, y'all. But I like to get in on the low. You know me. And I would rather trade on something else, me myself, rather than trying to chase this stock. If you get in at a high and it pulls back $2, that's a massive loss, y'all, and that's something you really don't want to do if you want to play it smart. We're trying to get in these stocks down here before they blow up. That's the whole point of these videos. This is why I like to put them out. Of course, we chase the momentum also, but those ones are just little trickier plays. But you got to get in a good position, y'all. It's not wise to chase these as they start parabolicing up there. But just keep it in mind, BBIG. I really like this stock. I made a little money earlier in the week, last week. Wasn't able to ride the squeeze here. I'm always moving around. I get impatient myself. I'm not a perfect trader, but I do feel like I'm confident in my call outs as to what I'm looking at and what I'm looking for. and what I'm looking to try to make on some of these stocks here. Always find a good in and out position, y'all. Don't just jump in thinking you're gonna moon and not know when to pull out, because that's how you lose money. Always try to figure out when you're gonna buy in and when you're gonna sell out. You have that strategy in place, you'll be profitable, I promise. But keep this on the watch list, BBIG. We're going to look to trade this come next week. Hopefully we can keep the volume and momentum going as we wait for the news to get published. Hopefully it can, moon this stock here. But we'll see how it plays out tomorrow in the pre-market and into the opening bell. Stock number 2, Aqst, Aquestive Therapeutics. This one was looking real healthy, I was told about this stock, trying to check it out, do an analysis on it, and I pulled it up. Not a lot of volume. We're not a real popular stock, as you can see. Our daily average, we trade around 400,000 shares. Not a lot goes on in this stock, but we have hit high price ranges, $10 or so, looking at the history here. And I have a long-term trend line that I actually drew. So the trend line for me is how I'm following it. Let me break this down for y'all if y'all want just a little insight on what I'm looking at. As you see on our weekly, we have a high of $20 here back in 2019, in October of 2019. So we're following this trend here for about 2 years or so, And what's crazy about how this works out is the chart tells a story, and we like to let the chart tell a story, and we like to follow it, and see where it's going to take us, where all the excitement is in the story. Well, it's not on the bottom, but this is a good place of interest on when you want to get in, so following the trend, we hit that all-time high. We've tried to break out previously, July of 2020, but it's testing that level, that 200-day moving average, which is this blue line. And we've come all the way down, hitting this lower level here, this support level, all the way down here around $2, $2.77, $2.97, and that's where we have support. Well, since then, we've hit this level week over week. We've been testing. Well, look at this green week. We're finally in the green. Last week we closed at 404. We're barely starting to test that trend line. You see, we're squeezing on the weekly. This is the weekly, man. This is a 2-year history trend line, and we're squeezing it on the weekly. You see how this has worked in the past. We've tested it. It's telling us a story here, letting us know, like, hey, I'm trying to get out. And as we start to consolidate into this wedge, this is where that momentum's starting to build up here, y'all. So this is what I'm watching now. So I'm going to keep an eye on this, looking to get an in position. As you can see, 75% we had on Friday of our daily average volume. We would love for this to kick up above 100. And in order to really see this start to move, though, we want to have this turn green. You see how these are green? Yeah, this is a good indicator here, letting me know, like, hey, there's a lot of people coming into this stock. We may start to see it moon. Well, we need to have that squeeze. Once we see it start to squeeze and break up, this is going to start piling up. Just toot, 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 toot. And before you know it, this is going to start shooting. So I want to call a level here, but we got to break above this level here. So as you can see, I have a trend line drawn. It's about 430 or so, give or take. You see that? We have to break above that before I really want to call this a buy. Because what we don't want to happen, you can get in on a low depending on how you want to trade this stock. If you're looking to trade it, in a short term, I want to ride it as it's breaking through. But if you want to get in on the low, well, you can get in now and just kind of wait it out. It can happen Monday, it could happen Friday next week. We don't know. It can happen the following week. It just depends on how patient you are. But if you want to get in on the low, get it at 30%, 40% cheaper. Hey, this is a good opportunity to get in, I would think, which I may consider doing. I'm really liking how this chart's looking, This is the daily, as you can see, the same weekly trend line from that $20 high, testing these highs all the way down. We had that $20 high, we tested that $9 high, we tested that $8 high, we tested that $6.80 high, and we're hitting that $4 mark now on the daily. You see that? And we're really testing it here. So as we start to squeeze, all the moving averages are consolidating. You see, we got the 7-day, the 50-day, and the 21-day pushing into that wedge. It's a good indication that we may see a squeeze come. I watch these a lot. This is what I look for when I see these kind of charts forming. And this is real. This is a real confident indication for me that we may start to see higher levels real soon. If we do break out, looking at the 4-hour, we're looking to maybe break above that 430. We can hit resistance 459, 460. On a long term, though, we're looking to maybe hit closer to 5. So that's what I'll be looking for. Checking out the wedge here, as you can see. I really feel like this wedge, though, is where our resistance level will be. So we would have to really break through that level to see these all-time highs. But if you're in now, we break through 440 or so. Look for resistance here, 480, 490, give or take. If we can keep pushing through that, man, we're gonna really push, get the volume drawing in. We're looking to hit $7, maybe even those highs of $9 or so. I'm gonna dig into the chart a little more, position those trend lines a little better moving into next week. But our overall, ranges, this is where I'm gonna call it for a low and a high for right now, just following the trend line. We'll call a buy around right here. But if you want to get in right now, we're above that 200-day. That's still not a bad place to get in, So just plan wisely, y'all. Just know that we can pull back if we don't break through this one. So if you get in now, we hit that, we can come all the way back down. You never know. But I'm hearing there's some good news. They have an FDA approval or some of their treatment, something like that, being discussed here. I believe they're going to be releasing some news soon. This is what I'm hearing as far as the gossip on the stock. It's just a lot of people talking about this one, and looking at the chart, this looks like a very healthy chart to trade. So AQST added to the watch list, y'all. Let's keep an eye on this one. I'll be letting y'all know if I decide to take a position, checking it here on Monday. I'm going to see what we're at. We need to keep that volume building, but $4, man, that's a real good value for me, especially if we got highs of $9. If I can make 50% of my investment, or more than 50%, we're gonna double our profit. So $4, I mean, up to $9, we're doubling our money. That's a 450% increase. So that's a real good investment for me. That's why I'm looking to get on board here, man. If I was only looking at 30% gain or something, I would probably not want to trade this stock. But hey, we can hit these highs of 9, just like you see with BBIG and some of these others we've seen. These healthy looking, these sexy looking charts. But yeah, that's what we're looking to do, y'all. So add it to the watch list with the rest of them, man. We're gonna hopefully see some higher gains or some higher prices soon here. Stock number 3, Workhorse Group, WKHS. So I don't know how y'all feel about Workhorse. I know a lot of people hate on this stock for whatever reason. I don't really like using the word hate, but they dislike the stock. A lot of people are disliking this, thinking that they're not gonna do nothing good as far as what they're trying to do, that they're not going to make it nowhere. Well, a lot of people are really interested here, back in February, hitting a high of, $43 or so. But since that Oshkosh deal didn't go through, we really seen that one sell off and just take some damage, and as we start to hit these lows, man, I started to see some volume come in here on Friday. As you see, we're pushing up, hitting that 980 or so. So I was looking, like, what's going on with, let me check the weekly, right? But look at the weekly here. This is what I wanted to point out. You see that trend line we're drawing on that weekly? Well, we just broke out last week, and we had a green candle close last week. You see that? It's not a big candle, but we're squeezing into that wedge. We clean up this wedge a little, we're probably just breaking out of that wedge is how it may look. We don't have crazy amount of volume yet, but this is something I wanted to watch because the short interest on this stock is high. Just like SPRT, just like BBIG and some of these other names. I believe it's like 30-something% maybe as far as the short interest. So we can get something good on this stock here. This one can start pushing. I know I was holding shares back at like $7 here a few months back. we pushed up, I believe, to like $14-15 here, and I made a good little run when I started seeing things like this play out. So I believe it was like back here. You see how we started to push up here at this time. So I was in around this time here, 7 something, 7 and some change, and we started to do the same thing, breaking through that 200-day, pushing up, but we had a lot of resistance still. We didn't have no news published. They were trying to break out. It just wasn't enough to push us all the way through, and we ended up selling back off. But right now, this isn't something I'm real crazy about, but I definitely want to keep this on the watch list. I always keep Workhorse up because I've seen this one move. If it gets some news on it, a catalyst published on it, this one can really move really fast, and a lot of interest draws into these ones pretty quickly. They're doing a lot of stuff as far as the future goes. They just need some contracts. They haven't been successful landing, contracts with some of these other or compared to some of these other competitors and what they're doing in the industry they're in. I believe they're into like electric like vehicles, as far as like industrial vehicles, mail vehicles, things like that we're using. They're trying to turn electric. UPS, those types of trucks, FedEx, things that deliver packages around the world. But these are things that they're trying to, develop, put out there. I believe they have a drone called the Horsefly that can actually deliver these packages also from their truck. So they can just pull up in the neighborhood, open their roof, and just send this drone and start just delivering their packages without them having to even leave their truck. And they just, I don't really know how it works. I know they have some technology behind that, but that's pretty neat. Especially, with the world we're living in now, COVID and everything. Well, it makes it safe for them, it makes it safe for a lot of people having to give that interaction, not really knowing what they're dealing with. But yeah, man, check out the company if y'all ain't familiar with Workhorse. The stock here, we're waiting. I'm not really giving a buy point yet, but I do have a high about 989 here that we need a break in order to start pushing higher. I have 2 levels drawn. One's around that 50-day moving average, which is a high around like $17-18. But in order for us to start pushing within this range, we need a break above at least $10 or so here, give or take. 989, 990. We can get above that come Monday. I'm going to be looking to buy into this stock, and I'll let y'all know if I do. Like I said, this one moves fast, and if we get some news published and we can break through this 50-day soon, we have a high of $42 there, man, which is a real good jump. But let's check out the daily here. We're starting to break out that wedge little by little. You see that? The 7-day and then that 21-day starting to squeeze. Let's see what happens, man. Workhorse 64% over our daily average volume on Friday. No good news on it here. I just know there was a little gossip a week ago or so going on with the stock, but let's just keep an eye. We're gonna definitely keep this one up, and I'll fill y'all in along the way here with Workhorse. All right, stock number 4, last one of the day here, y'all. Sensonics Holdings. Sense, SENS. Right now, as you can see, this is the daily chart. Let's look at the weekly. Look at that weekly. Doesn't that look pretty healthy to y'all? I mean, look at that. We're already starting to push up here. We're breaking through, y'all. We're breaking it. We got the trend line drawn from high to high to high. They just put a price target on this also for $6, which is the all-time high, give or take. And if we can break above $6, who knows where we can go. But look, we're trending up. This is the weekly. We've been trending up here for the last few weeks. And the daily, that volume started to come in Friday. We're at 149%. You see the green bar here? We're in the green. We need this to turn green to really start pumping though. But this is a good indication that it's coming. We're building. 4 to 556. That's a $1.50 gain here. And that's on the low end, y'all. If we break through this, we can still pump. This is just the high. This doesn't mean we're gonna stop. Especially we're breaking through these levels. Well, the stock moves. We have that history in the past also where we've seen this stock move. It pump up here pretty quick. a high short interest in this one also. I can't really remember if it was like 20 something percent, but there's some sellers positioned here. We can possibly squeeze them out if we start to get some good news. I know that price target was just published here a couple days ago. See that buy of $6 price target. That was back on the 19th. They had good earnings. Oh no, they had actually a loss here. I read that wrong. But a price target. They got an upgrade on here, so that's good news for me. Sensonic, something to watch. Key levels here. 356 on the low end. 356, 357. If we come back down, looking to buy in. There's a low end of 357, but we're kind of holding above the trend right now as we barely broke out. But even this green candle isn't a very big candle, so we're barely breaking out. You know, so we'll call it around 390 or so. Call that a buy. Or even now 405. It's not bad. Come back down here though, $4. So we'll see when the market opens or so if we can get in on Sensonics. I'm looking to ride this one actually. I've kind of seen this one move before. They already got the price target. We're looking to push up higher here. It's a good value, $4. If I can make a $2 gain on the dollar there, that's not bad. A few hundred shares, $2 gain, bringing a few hundred, I'm happy. But I'm looking to make some profits on 4 of these stocks. We're just looking for a good opportunity on when to get in. Workhorse, we're going to keep you on the watch list. We're not calling you a buy yet, but just pay attention to this one, y'all. BBIG, this one's already on a rally. We need to wait for a pullback, or at least know what direction we're moving come Monday. Now, if we break through this in the pre-market, we'll be looking to hit that 940. If we hit 940, we can continue to push all the way up. They're calling $10 or so on that all-time high. But this Lomotive news also, as far as what they're going to be sharing in the next few days, can tell the future of this stock as well. Profits got to be taken soon. Keep that in mind. You see how big this pump is. People are looking to pull out soon, y'all. We haven't hit these levels in a while. Just be aware, you know, don't buy in too early, because you know we're going to see a pullback soon. Fridays we usually don't have real good green days like this, which is kind of keeping me aware as to what's going to be playing out. You know, beginning early next week. So I'm kind of just waiting it out. I'm still holding some Any. Still holding some Seal. I'm still holding some DYAI and YVR. You know, these are ones that I'm holding from last week, and these are some right here on these charts, so we'll be looking to pick up into this week. But we'll definitely keep y'all filled in. Let me know what y'all think about these stocks. I know we feel like we have some winners here, and we're looking to ride these up here come Monday, man. But let me know what y'all think. I know a lot of y'all are in the Discord already. Continue joining us. Let me know your thoughts, and just feel free to discuss anything on your mind. Let's try to put some money in all y'all's pockets as well as my own. All y'all new viewers, if y'all feeling the videos, you know, show some love, thumbs up, always appreciate it. Subscribe, be in the know every time I drop one of these. I know we had a successful, you know, last couple of weeks, and we're gonna look to continue the same trend moving into next week. But we got to be on top of these stocks, y'all. We want to get in the know before these actually take off, and that's what we're trying to do here. So let's be proactive, not reactive, as they say, as we look to trade, make some money on some of these picks here. But I appreciate everybody taking the time, checking out the footage. Leave those comments below. Let's talk about it. Let me know y'all's thoughts on these top 4 of next week. But I'll be letting y'all know what's going on in the pre-market come Monday, tomorrow morning. And we'll catch up then, y'all, on that session of Morning Hype. Talk to y'all later. Have a good Sunday night. See y'all then. Peace.